Excuse me. Excuse me. What time is it? It's RoRo After Midnight. Oh, welcome to another episode of RoRo After Midnight. Thank you again for joining us for another week of amazingness, mostly me, and some amazingness coming from my guests. At this point, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in again. And as always, you could see the one below. You can follow me on Facebook, RoRo the Tenor, or on YouTube, Filipino Tenor. And the show airs or live stream at 11 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Central, 2 a.m. Eastern. At this point, it'll be due to our guests. It's 8 a.m. Central European Time. And you can follow me on Instagram at RoRo the Tenor, RoRoThetenor, at RoRo the Tenor. Also on Twitter, and I don't mind getting 50 cents from Venmo every once in a while, so there's 3 viewers right now. That's at least $1.50. Ooh, there go. It's like $2. Yeah, keep those 50 cents coming. Anyway, so we're going to jump immediately to our joke of the day. Our joke of the day is, as contributed by my husband, Stephen, again, joke of the day. Why do you never see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Oh! And our pickup line of the day. Our pickup line of the day for those of you using Grindr, Tinder, Scruff, Growler, Adam for Adam. These are the this is the pickup line of the day. Roses are red, violets are fine. You be the 6 and I'll be the 9. On that note, I'd like to remind everyone to wear a mask, social distance, and wash your hands, especially based on the last pickup line. Always wash your hands and anything below your waist. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like now to... Oh my God, I'm missing something. Just a second. I'm just like, there is one thing I forgot to print out here. I want to bring out my guests for tonight. Well, my guest for tonight hails from Sigourney, Iowa. That's how you pronounce it, right? Sigourney, Iowa. And now lives in Salzburg or Salzburg, Austria. She is a very, very, very accomplished mezzo-soprano, world-renowned, worldwide, world famous. I think she's famous. It's like, I've heard of her before I even met her. So without further ado, I'd like to bring her in. Oh, wait. Yes, I'd like to bring her in. Her name is, as you can see, wait, there we go. See what I mean? I need a producer or something. Katharine Goeldner, mezzo-soprano. And before I bring her in to you guys, I'd like to show you a clip, a very nice clip of what she can do on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the one, the only Katharine Goeldner. Yeah!
Oh my God, it's so early. Oh, look, the sun's coming up. I never see this time of day. Only for you, RoRo.
I know. So for those of you who are just meeting Katharine for the first time, You can follow her at www.KatharineGoeldner. That's Catherine with 2 A's in the beginning. KatharineGoeldner.com. Also follow her on Instagram at Catherine Goeldner. And there it is. So her information will be there for the whole show, almost the whole show. So let's start with, how did you meet me? Tell me, Catherine, how did you meet me?
Well, there was a park bathroom. No, I'm just kidding. We
See, Mezzo.
We met at Chicago Lyric Opera, where you were singing the Prince in Lulu, and I was covering the fabulous Jill Grove as Gräfin Geschwitz. Right?
Yes.
Yes, that was right. I had to look it up. Oh, and that fantastic production.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It is a very, very nice production. And what was your first impression of it? Do you remember? I mean, it's been a long time. It's like, what do you remember? Do you remember anything besides maybe I didn't have my hair as big yet during that time. But I was into the fashion thing. So I just want to know how people like remember me, It is my show.
I say your hair did not make as much of an impression on me as it did last year doing Rosencavalier at the Met. Which, I mean, we saw that picture the other night with Lexi. It was 3 feet tall. I don't know. It was your, I speak German, right? I live here. Yes. Your German was great. And that part is really difficult because I've done a few Lulus, as it were. And it's always impressive when you actually get the notes.
Yay!
Get the notes and the text is, So congratulations.
We were just talking about it before the show. We were talking about how it doesn't matter, when you're learning very difficult, especially in German, very difficult music like Strauss and Berg or anything atonal, that you actually get the notes. It's always nice to start off in a rehearsal or in anything, singing the notes and then changing how it's sung later, right?
Yeah, but with a piece like Lulu, it's rare to actually have, like you did, actually get the notes because it is so incredibly difficult. I call that kind of thing ping pong music. It's ping pong pong. Yeah.
Wait, because I'm Asian, you mentioned ping pong? Oh my God, Sakurade! Anyway, so let's go. Now let's talk about you. Let's talk about me.
Yes. Here I am in my pajamas.
Wait. Enough. Wait, how do you do this? Enough about me. Let's talk about you. Tell us about, your hometown, how you grew up, how many, family and school.
It is Sigourney, Iowa. Everybody says it wrong because of Sigourney Weaver, who says her name wrong. But we're named after that famous Boston poetess, Lydia Huntley Sigourney. There you go. No one's ever heard of her unless you're from the town. Tiny town, southeast Iowa, 2,000 people. I was a townie, not a farm girl. We lived in town. And went to my first opera when I was 14, which was Carmen. Went to see Carmen, University of Iowa. 14. Never seen one before that. And I went to the University of Iowa because that's what you do when you're a Goeldner. Go Hawks. And did a Bachelor of Music Education.
Yes.
Right? And my voice teacher there, Jocelyn Ryder, the fabulous Jocelyn Ryder, first lesson, she said, "So do you want to teach or do you want to perform?" I said, "Well, love to be a performer. What are the chances?" She says, "Okay. So in addition to all the music ed stuff, you have to do this, this, and this." So not just one foreign language, but French, Italian, and German. The whole time. And like song lit, I had graduate level stuff, all that kind of thing before going to the Mozarteum here in Salzburg, Austria for masters.
So you did your masters in Austria?
Yeah, it's at what they call a Magister. So I have a title. Thank you very much. Because Austrian.
Tell me about your title again.
My title is Frau Magister Goeldner. Yes, I am a Magister, which means I have a master's degree. But Austria being Austria, they've never gotten over the empire. And they really like titles. So I kid you not, the day the day I got my master's degree, the day I graduated, I go to our local butcher, and it's always been like, yeah, grüß Gott, Frau Goeldner. All of a sudden, it's like, küss die Hand, gnädigste Frau Magister, right? It's like, oh my goodness, now you have an academic title. So I'm not kidding. And the banks to this
Did he really say that?
Oh yeah, and they still
my God.
today.
Okay, so translated to kiss.
Oh, kiss the hand. That's a very Austrian thing. Küss die Hand. I think you see it in like Fledermaus and Rosenkavalier. Küss die Hand. I kiss your hand. Frau Master's Degree Goeldner.
That's awesome. Oh my God. So kiss the hand. Very Austrian. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So so I didn't know that you actually went to Austria that early.
Yeah, because I couldn't afford grad school in the States, man, basically.
It's true. You know, I remember when my teacher, I don't know if you've actually heard of Timothy Massard.
I have not.
Yeah, he was telling me that one time he was going to school, and you know, he studied in Washington. He was offered a full scholarship. You know, it may not be his first choice, but if someone is offering you a full scholarship, you say yes to that.
That's the thing, and also because when I started here, you know, it's free if you're a member of the EU. But because I was a foreigner, I am a foreigner, it was $400 a semester.
Oh, no.
Yes. Yeah. So to do a degree in art song and oratorio with this.
That's in Austria, right?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, well, you know what? That's a deal, and I would never say no to that. So
it was good.
So now, the move to Europe. So oh wait, no. So tell us about. So you did the training, you did the your master's.
Yeah.
Did you do any other training beside after masters before you actually got into, you know, the big, you know, when you start becoming big in a way? You know what I mean?
Well, no, because I couldn't get into any of the young artist programs in the States.
Okay.
Right. Instead, while I was finishing my master's, I started at the Landestheater, the Salzburg State Theater. So, and I made my debut there in, oh my God, I thought I was 25. I was 24. It was a month before my 25th birthday. As Carabino, of course.
Well, that's a good, yeah.
It was great. Herman Pride.
Yes, of course.
Herman Pride did his one and only stage direction. And he was a very, very, very famous German baritone that sadly children today don't know who he is.
So basically, so you moved to, so when you moved to Austria, it was to do your master's. And that was the main reason of the big move to Austria.
Yeah.
And when after school, you decided to, you know, it's like me when I did my training in Chicago, I realized, oh, this is the city where I'm going to be living. And I've been living here since 2005. Is that the same kind of feeling of like, oh, you really felt good about the city, even though you were foreign to it?
Yeah. I mean, I stayed because I got a contract in the theater and met my husband, and, you know, this wound up being our main home, I guess you'd say. And then I was working Fest here and Fest in Germany, and then went freelance a long time ago.
So tell us about your big break. What do you consider was your first big break that you really catapulted you to there's two things, catapulted you to Europe and all the different places in Europe, as well as in the US. So that's two moments, I guess.
So I guess the first was auditioning for this Marriage of Figaro and getting hired for that. So that was my first professional thing. Then I guess my first American contract was in Omaha. I got hired because a friend of mine was music director there, and Hal France, and hired to do Cybele in Omaha. But then it took, I don't know, several years to get back to U.S. contracts after I auditioned for City Opera 5 times in 3 different cities. And then I finally got the contract, bless Robin Thompson, to cover at City Opera. And so it was kind of backwards from what people do now, because I had to start at City Opera, and then the Met hired me because they heard me at City Opera. And after the Met hired me, then some of the other American companies said, okay, well, if they've hired her, she must be okay. And so then I could get into places like Florida and Dallas and Minneapolis and some of those. It was kind of, instead of starting the other way around.
So have you, I call it, wait, there's the three main A houses, and I've only sung in 2 out of 3. We're talking about the biggest ones there. It's the Metropolitan Opera, the Lyric Opera Chicago, and San Francisco Opera. Have you done all those 3?
I have done all 3. I've done a lot at the Met and a lot at Chicago. I've only covered years ago in San Francisco. Covered Carabino like you do, and L'Incarnazione di Poppea.
So you have you sung on like physically sung on stage at San Francisco yet?
No, only covered.
Me too. I have not covered even yet. So basically, I mean, there are other companies that are huge as well, like LA Opera and Houston Grand Opera, Dallas, Florida Grand. There are others, but when it comes to like the biggest ones in each hemisphere, like in the West Coast, the biggest one is San Francisco. In Midwest, it's Lyric, and in the East Coast, it's the Met. And those are what I have always considered the big 3. And for still now, I have not sung in San Francisco. It's like, it's just nice, even though at least you work there. At least I could, oh my God, I could share that part of like, how is it? It's like, why is it that hard? This could kind of thing.
We're not left coasters.
Huh?
We're not left coasters. We're middle people.
Yeah, we're middle. That's true. That's true. So those are what you consider the big break. Now about you. Your most notable roles, notable as in there's two-parter.
Yeah.
What you consider is your favorite roles to sing, and what the media or the crowd or the companies think is your best roles, because sometimes they don't always match.
This is true. I get what you're saying, and it's also changed over the years, because the first 15 years of my career or so, I was singing all the boys, all the pants roles, right? So I did a lot of the composer in Ariadne auf Naxos. I did that.
Amazing. Oh yeah, that's one of your, that was dubbed as one of your signature roles.
Yeah, that, because I think I did 9 productions of Ariadne, which is kind of a lot for Ariadne. The other one that I've done then later, literally, when I let my hair grow out, I started getting the women roles. Literally, because my hair was so short because of singing all these pants roles all the time. So they kept, using my own hair and cutting it.
Exactly. Yes, I know.
And people listening don't always have an imagination. So it wasn't until I let my hair grow that I started singing some of the girly roles, right? Yeah. So I did a lot of Carmens after that. Tons. A lot of
Carmens.
Yeah. Probably also, I think I counted them up. It was, I think, 9 productions of Composer and 9 productions of Carmen, more or less. Yeah. Including some, last minute jump ins.
Talk about, hold that thought. Let's see. We got a comment right here. Oh, I missed. Oh, one of my friends missed. And it's like, I missed opera or Miss Opera. I think he meant to type Mrs. Opera. So now that we're talking about Carmen, we'd like to segue clip. Yes, seg to a Carmen. Now this, at least people know, this Carmen is. Tell us about the Carmen clip that we're gonna see.
Okay.
The one that you said.
This from Chicago?
Yeah. What year is this?
Oh God, that was 2011, I think, in Chicago, and that was when that was when one of the times I jumped in for an ailing colleague. I think 3 rehearsals before the premiere, I think we did. So that was an adventure, getting that big red dress and the castanets and the choreography and all of that down. But that was it. It was a lot of fun, I have to say.
And now we bring you Katharine Goeldner as Carmen in Lyric Opera of Chicago's production in 2011.
Je chante pour moi-même, je chante pour moi-même, et je pense, il n'est pas défendu de penser, et vivre aussi, et de vivre, cela monter, 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 monter.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Katharine.
Yeah.
Now, so one of the things I noticed about Katharine is not just a singer, but also a really, really good actress and performer. I saw her. We were in the same season at the Met. Last season? Yeah, last season. Last season
Yep.
when I was in Magic Flute, and she was in Rosencavalier.
Yes.
And she was, she played the role of Anina in Rosencavalier, and I have also played the Valsacchi, but we, of course we haven't, sung together. Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm gonna have one of the singers I'm gonna have over here in about 2 days or so is Megan Marino, who also has done Anina, and this is when they brought back Rosencavalier here in Chicago. I sang Balsacchi this time instead of covering my very good, my mentor, David Cangellosi. And we actually sang together. So it was just like, it's just those degrees of like separation, that kind of thing, that. So it was nice. It was nice to just see you there. Oh, wait. Look at that. My friend Chip, I'm glad I turned in before going to bed. Now I can sleep soundly. Thank you. Oh, see? Your voice is like calm.
That means I put him to sleep. Oh no.
I was like, I know. But the cool thing about it is it's just, I'm glad that, like I told you, and then I'm going to repeat to everyone again, the reason why I do this show this late at night, even though it's morning in Austria, is there will be people who will, let me spotlight myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some of you who go to bed around 10, 11, but then don't really go to bed. What you do is you just stay laying down on your phone, and then by the time you know it, an hour and a half have passed because you've been, surfing the web. So that's why I do this show. So let me take this off again. So now we're going to talk back to Kathy. Kathy, as always, I ask my fellow friends, tell us about an embarrassing or unforgettable moment in performing, either or both, something that that sticks out or I think people will find very interesting.
Like good and bad?
Good and bad, gross, or like something that oh my God, I didn't know that could happen or that is possible, that kind of thing.
Well, so in my first Carabino at the Met, I'm sorry, here in Salzburg, I'm a newbie. And you know where Carabino jumps out the window, right? That wall was flown up into the rafters, catwalks,
Yeah.
and the stagehands had forgotten to take out the nail that keeps it shut.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So we come to that part, and it's a really difficult duet with Susanna. And it's like you're in a hurry and you're trying to stay together with the conductor and all that. And it gets to the point she's like, "Don't jump out the window." I'm going, "I have to jump out the window. Don't jump out the window." And I go to open the window, and it's nailed shut. So I couldn't get out the window. So the Susanna takes her arm, just goes, bam, breaks the window open. I jump out. The Count then comes in and sings, "Everything's just as I left it." And there's the window going, creak, creak.
Oh no. So what happened then afterwards?
Well, they had to pretend that no one knew where Carabino had gone. And then after that scene, you're hiding in the Countess's closet, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's after that scene, yeah. And it wasn't the same show, but I'm waiting for my entrance, and you're hearing no, it's before that scene. That's right. A pite poco pite, da 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 da. And I go to make my entrance, and the stagehand, or the Countess, I mean, had actually locked the door. Why there was a functioning lock on a stage door, I don't know. But it's the last second. I'm supposed to make my entrance. The door won't open. I'm singing from backstage. I had to run, still singing, backstage and around to come out the front of the onto the set. Yeah, little panic.
Oh my God. So yeah. So what about, okay, have you ever had weird, because there's always, if you do Carmen, there will always be moments where, like, close call. Oh my God. Because timing and everything. I remember, for example, I want to see maybe something happened to you. In Carmen, in Act 3, where during the smuggling scene, you guys have to disguise yourselves as to seduce whoever it is. And in the production, in the lyric opera production, I don't know if they did it, but you guys had to do a dressing and undressing. Did you guys have to do that?
No, we didn't. It might have been a dressing and undressing on stage.
On stage. So I think because because it was certain people were not involved in that production, that they weren't allowed to use certain staging. So
okay,
yes. So hey, I'm that's all I'm gonna say. Since we're live and everything, one of the things is because now when you enter in Act 3, everyone enters there, and they said, "Oh, you know what? They sing something." No, that's not it. That is
yeah.
Exactly. That's when, like, oh my God, we're gonna use our, I'm not transphrasing, okay? Paraphrasing. Oh, we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna seduce everyone. Blah blah blah. And during that time, they're changing their clothes from their smuggling to their pretty clothes.
I was waiting backstage. I missed that. Dang.
No, it's not that. The thing was, during that scene, it was supposed to be the women. We are dressing and undressing. The women, you guys are undressing, and we're putting newer clothes to you. And that was a different staging. So I had my own moment with Denise Graves where I thought I tightened the skirt.
Oh.
And it got caught in one of the shirts. So after she moved, that skirt fell down. She caught it, but you could see the leggings that she was wearing. But it was so fast. The only person who noticed it was Steven. Because he was watching me, everything I do. So what I want to know, the reason I said that is, did you have any close calls to any wardrobe malfunctions, or or forgot to wear a certain type of article of clothing, oh shoot, I should have worn a bra? But I know probably not, but yeah, tell us something.
Well, I'll say, when you sing a lot of pants rolls, the first thing you check, or the last thing you check before you go out on stage, is your fly. That's for sure. Even as a woman. Funnily enough, yeah, I had a costume malfunction, and it was Carmen, and it was at the Savonlinna Festival in Finland a couple of years ago. And you know why they put Carmen in a big white dress at the end? I don't know, but it's always a big white dress. And right before we're ready to walk out, you know, me and Escamillo, the zipper on my dress completely breaks, right? So there I am trying to hold it together. I mean, luckily it was like at the top, it was okay, but the bottom's wide open. So I had to do this staging. I'm talking to the tenor on the stage saying, I'm switching the staging. I'm reversing the staging. I cannot turn my back to the audience. And he was totally confused anyway. It was one of those where the tenor just stands still and I had to act around him. You know what I mean? So I'm very careful not to have my back to the audience. And then I had to die in his arms in a different way so that the audience could not see that my ass is hanging out of the dress in the back. Man. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a major malfunction.
Wow. I mean, you know, I wanted to ask because there's always, you know, singing roles like Carmen because of how busy the show is and costume changes, especially like what you said in the back's like I mean, Carmen moves a lot. I mean, you know, it's not like, you know, with all due respect, like, you know, when somebody sings Brunhilde, it's like, it's a big costume. But, you know, when you're in Wagner, the less you move is pretty much the norm. Yeah. You know, but when you're doing, you know, Marriage of Figaro or you're doing, you know, Carmen, there's a lot of activity going.
You're jumping around. Yeah.
So, what is that? I tried to, there you go. So before we go to a different topic here, this is the one I forgot to download, but I want to, there's something I want to show you guys. Katharine told about, you know, she started, what is that? She started singing roles that are pants roles because especially when her hair was so short, and then her hair grew, and then she started doing the ladies.
The ladies.
So now I want to actually like show you guys. It's like, what did she look like when she had that short hair? And then actually I forgot to save this one. So I gotta like, you know, I just during the whole time I was like doing this. See, explain to us.
Okay.
Wait, just like, what this is about. Tell us, first of all, tell us who is responsible for this. Actually, I think it's magnificent. This headshot is magnificent. So tell us about this.
This is the photographer Christian Steiner, who was
Christian Steiner. Did you say Christian Steiner?
Christian Steiner, and he was the photographer for the opera world up until I think the mid 2000s, late 2000s. He was it. He photographed all the big stars. I mean, Marilyn Horne, Sam Raimi, Jesse Norman, everybody. In fact, there was a book, I don't know if it's still available, of his, I think it's called Opera People, of his photographs. And they are just absolutely fantastic. And after I'd made my Met debut, and it was before I made my Met debut, at City Opera, and had a little cash. It's like, I want photos from Christian Steiner. I want these headphones. So I went to his place was on the Upper West Side on Central Park West. And it was a 7-hour photo session. I mean, this is kids in the days before Photoshop. This was like the camera, and he had all these backdrops, and we had different clothes. He had this beautiful apartment, and he took our time doing photos and changing costumes and all this. And the very last shot of the day, you know, he pulls up, he said, I think you can pull this off. No one ever uses this background. He pulls up this fuchsia background. It was just a piece of paper. And he turns on the fan, of course, and takes the shot. And that was like the best shot of the day. That was this one. And then I got to watch him in his dark room because used to like retouch it, not like, again, with Photoshop like you do today. I'm literally watching the picture develop, and he's using a feather to like smooth lines and soften edges and that kind of thing. It was fascinating to watch this man work, and he was an absolute joy. And I had Christian Steiner photos. This was actually then used. I was on the cover of Orpheus magazine over here in it was a German magazine, and that was the shot that they wanted to use for the cover photo.
That's awesome. I mean, I liked it. I think one of the cool things about this photo is, I mean, like what you said, it's that the backdrop. It brought up it's like, oh my God, you had blush, but man, that pink even brought up more of your blush.
And the blue dress. Oh, and that wrap.
It's amazing.
The blue wrap was like 5 feet of material I bought on 72nd Street and like hand hemmed it for the shot.
And by the way, so it brought out more of your cheeks and it highlighted your dark lips. Now that dress looks iridescent from here. Was it iridescent?
Yeah, but it's just a piece of sheer material.
Oh, okay. Because it looks very, very iridescent. Yeah. Now we're going to look at some photos here. It's like now that was so. Tell us about these. I'm going to put you on the side here. These are photos during. First of all, we saw this. This is the Carmen. This is the Carmen that we saw earlier, and then now this is.
Oh, that's also Carmen. That was my first and second staged Carmens were both at New York City Opera. So this is the second time around, and this is with John Bellimer, the fantastic Don Jose. And let's see, what can I tell you about that? Was this production, which was, I loved this production, but by this time at City Opera, we had very little rehearsal. So we had no dress rehearsal, actually. So the first time the Escamillo, who was Malcolm McKenzie, he was making his role debut and his City Opera debut. And the first
I know Malcolm.
You know Malcolm, fabulous Verdi baritone. And the first time he was actually on the stage with the orchestra was at the premiere.
Oh my God.
We didn't have costumes or anything at the Zitz.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't time.
So now our next one to see is this one. Tell us about this one.
Oh, that's quite a switch from Carmen to Ma Jode. This is Ma Jode in The Grapes of Wrath, Ricky Ian Gordon, and with the great Bob Orth as Uncle John. May he rest in peace. He was.
And which company was this?
This is at Opera Theater St. Louis. All right. And I did this in 2017, I think it was. Fantastic production. We also took it up to Detroit, and it is now like my favorite role to do. She is the journey that she takes and the way she holds her family together, and the way you've got everything from the tender lullaby to what I like to call Ma Jode's mad scene, which is the end of that mad scene, and just getting her family through this trip across Oklahoma and to California. It's just an incredible opera and should be done everywhere.
It's funny. Now this one, talk about another what is that? Another
Back to the boys.
Exactly, back to the boys.
I do a lot of boys.
So tell me about what opera this is and where.
This is Orfeo, Gluck's Orfeo, Orfeo at Euridice at Arizona Opera. Also like 13. I don't know. I can't. I've been doing this gig for like 30 years, so it's hard to remember what year was what.
That's true.
But this was at Arizona Opera, and just another Orfeo is one of those operas that does not get done very often, but every mezzo dreams of doing it.
Yeah.
So getting to do it once in my career was huge, and absolutely gorgeous music. Don't ever bother with the you just want to do the Barenreiter score, by the way. For K.
Of course.
The Barenreiter score is very different from the God, now I'm blanking on the Italian publisher. Come on. Publishes all of it.
Oh, recording, no.
Yeah, there's a recording version. Recording.
It's like Shermer.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I need more tea.
So this one, Now this one only because I've worked with this person as well.
Oh.
In Magic Flute and in The Ring.
Oh,
This
good.
mm.
That's Günter Greisbeck.
And then what opera is that? Oh yeah, I know exactly, but you tell us.
This is Rosenkavalier at the Met last season, and this is Anina and Baron Ox when she has read him the letter, and he thinks he's going to go meet Mariandel, the chambermaid, and of course it's Octavian, and so yeah, we had to practice that leap into his arms, which can't look like I'm leaping into his arms, over and over again. Right?
So you actually leaped. He didn't pick you up. You leaped.
It looks like he's picking me up, but I'm leaping into his arms. It's a stage trick because if he just lifted me up, he'd break his back. I mean, you just can't do that. So you have to time it at a certain point in the music, and we had to practice it, that I would start to leap as he's lifting me. So it does. I'm helping him out, but it doesn't look like it. And then I get to hold on to those shoulders.
I know. Oh my God. It's like we'll talk about. It's like maybe we'll have Günter Greisbeck here. It's like probably not.
he's over in this time zone.
Lastly, so this is the one where this is backstage. If you know, this is with my guest 2 nights ago, Miss Lexi Lobianco.
Yeah, there she is.
You guys were in the same show. That's awesome.
She was the fantastic Mariana Leitmetzerin. I think that was her Met debut. And there we are, comparing the girls backstage.
Actually, it's what is that? Her role when I first got into opera, Rosenkavalier. My favorite line of hers, I always remember, Rosenkavalier. It's like pretty much. I mean, that's very, very catchy. Rosenkavalier, really.
Yeah, the aria.
Exactly. So look how pretty you are. Oh my God, you really look good in like black and white stuff like that.
Yeah,
and that
designer.
It looks so I don't know, fashionable. It's awesome.
That's Heath Bryant's makeup. He's a fantastic makeup guy at the Met.
And lastly, pictures. This is actually my favorite picture of the reel that you sent me.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh my God! Tell us of the fabulousness of this. What is this, and where?
This is a Vita at the Kassel Staatstheater. This is, my friends, when you have a fest contract, this is the kind of thing you do. So I would do a Vita on one night, the title role of Cenerentola some other night, Tisbe in Cenerentola 2 nights later, with maybe a Hansel in between. But I did this role for like 4 years, and then also guested with it up in Lübeck.
I mean, wow! Yeah. Unlike today, where when musicals are done in opera houses, oh yeah, they're just gonna do it for like 2 months. No, you did the Vita for 4 years. You were a Broadway singer, technically.
In German.
Evita in German.
Wein nicht mich, Argentina, ich habe dich nie verlassen. Oh yeah, in German.
Oh my God, in German.
Yeah, this is that was a fantastic dress. You see how it's like that mermaid dress right at the knees? I have to tell you this because it's hilarious. That's the costume
where your knees, where the fold on your joints happen, and it's like
right above. It has to be right above the knee.
Right above the knee. Oh,
and I had to be able to come down the stairs in this, but I didn't have to go up the stairs.
I love that dress.
So we practiced in the stairway in the opera house with the costume designer and I at the tailoring. So like haul it up the stairs and then walk down without looking, and like, nope, you have to adjust.
Approximately how many costume changes did you have?
In this one?
Yes.
23.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, costume changes, 23.
23 costume changes.
Oh my God. So do you have any clips of that for archival for your enjoyment, or no?
I do, but they didn't let you film, right? And they have archival photos. So I've got like bad VHS. But
No, but
that's
still, you know what? It's about archives. If you got archives, there's proof.
yeah, but it's so far away because they didn't even do close-ups. So sadly, because it was
Amazing.
great, the dancing and everything.
Now that we've talked everything about the music and everything, my question now is, look, I'm like scrolling through because now, one of the things that we actually, we've known each other, but one of the things that actually made me even closer to Kathy and even, bonding with her was our, our involvement in the musical, what is that? AGMA, what's that?
American
Guild of
Guild
Musical
Musical
Artists.
Artists.
Yeah, the American Guild of Musical Artists Union, which is for singers, actors, dancers, production personnel in the world of opera and ballet.
Mhm.
So tell us about. So my questions are: what what encouraged you to be more involved in the union as being a board member, and which questions you had that were finally answered that maybe would actually help some of the singers listening later
Well, I got involved because, I live overseas,
on.
but because I joined in New York, because that was my first AGMA contract, City
Yeah.
Opera, I'm a member of the New York, what we call the shop, of course, the New York area. But, so I was rarely able to be at a meeting because they were only in person.
Yes.
This is back before teleconferencing, right? But I'd been at one before, and then 2018, tail end of 17, beginning of 2018, I was also at the Met and went to a meeting, and they were getting ready for the election, and people that are on the board that I've known for a bazillion years said, you would be really good. We can't ever get any soloists to run for the board. Would you be willing? Yeah, and I said, ha ha ha. I said, oh, what is it involved? And Louis Perry, God bless his heart, whom I've known forever, said, oh, it's not very much, and you can join by phone now. And well, yeah, it turns out to like take over your life, doesn't it, RoRo?
Yeah, it does. I mean, now I remember being involved when I first joined. I was involved, then I was traveling. Then I just have to make sure that I make the what is that? The minimum meetings.
Yeah.
But now because of the pandemic, more and more soloists have now gained. We have now gained interests from a lot more soloists because now they can take the time to really examine how the union that we do belong, and that is a good sign. You know what? Involvement is a good sign, and in every involvement, we always have to make sure that there usually is time. It takes time to fully assess or understand everything union. And
it takes.
I can remember, when did you become a board member? Was it?
I was elected in 2018, so I'm going on 2 years, and I'm telling you, 2 years is nothing. I mean, it's a big learning curve because there's so much to find out about other membership divisions. We're representing everybody, not just soloists, right? Yeah. Learning about negotiating. I mean, I was just on the negotiating team with you.
Yeah.
A contract. I don't know if we're allowed to. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess we can say like, oh, we got involved in a major contract negotiations with one of the major companies here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So, that was
and managed to get something very much to the benefit of all members, including soloists. And I've seen, I guess one of the most important things I've seen is how important it is for soloists to be at the negotiating table and how to do it. And what's important about which soloists are at the negotiating table, because when it has to be someone who's worked in the house, and it has to be someone who's worked a lot of AGMA contracts, because when they personally know you, as we saw at this negotiations, it's a completely different ball game. So you can't just, step in. I wouldn't go on negotiations in a house I had not worked. It doesn't make sense.
Because that's true.
It's a personal connection.
There's a personal connection, and that you can sympathize with everyone, not just soloists, but you can sympathize with everyone in the category, whether they're choristers or dancers. Then you can say, oh, I can understand why they would be asking that, or why we would be concentrating on that. Are there any,
you know them.
when I said questions answered, it's like, were you curious about something before you joined the board? Were you curious about something as just a regular member, that when you got into the board, like, oh, it, like any specific area that you were, there you go. What area were you enlightened that, you suddenly you're like, oh, now I know more of it?
Oh God, so much. I mean, there's two, I would answer that in two different parts.
Okay.
My goal, why I went ahead and ran what I would like to do, with it, is increasing communication, helping the union to work better for itinerant soloists like myself, because everybody knows that's always been an issue. But what we've accomplished in just a couple of years is, I mean, committees work slowly. Anything that runs by committee works slowly, but we worked at lightning speed, I have to say. The communication and, again, just getting soloists at the negotiating table is huge.
Right.
And, I think the biggest surprise for me is how little, I have to be careful how I say this. I wasn't curious. I didn't bother to read before I was on the board. I hadn't read the Constitution.
Yes.
I wasn't aware of, some of my rights. I wasn't aware of how much the union was doing for me behind the scenes. So that's probably been one of the biggest wonderful things to find out, and exactly how much solidarity the other membership divisions have with soloists, which we don't always see that. We're not always aware of it, but it's definitely there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now that we talk about, singing and being in a union, we're going to talk like briefly about, aside from performing and teaching, what are your other interests? Just, I know, by the way, guys, I already talked to her, and she said music and singing and teaching is an integral part of who Katharine is. It is her heart and soul. So digging and really getting something out of her that's not music related is not easy. So, but
it's not easy. I mean, you asked me about hobbies. It's like, hobbies? Who has time for a freaking hobby? I mean, hobbies. No, I guess the hobbies I would have are my friends. Okay. And when I've been on the road, socializing with colleagues, I have to say that's something that I've noticed has changed in the last 5-6 years. People don't socialize at the end of a rehearsal day like they used to. Have you noticed that?
I do, but you know what? Who was that? I was talking to someone about it. I couldn't remember which singer, but the problem was every time I travel, I can never rely on singers. I think I was talking to Cheryl about it, my first guest. I can never rely on fellow singers to socialize, like after rehearsal or during off days, because they're so concentrated on their singing and this and that. I was like, we can't just stay at the hotel. When I travel to cities, I want to learn about the city. I can't just stay in a hotel. And then I understand that we have to take care of ourselves, but that's part of traveling. It's like, how do we know? Do we just rely on, oh, let's go to a trip to a museum? It's like, no, if I go to a museum, I'm going to be bumping into tourists. If I go to this, I'm going to be bumping into tourists. I want to know the city. I want to know drunk people who live here, not drunk people who visit. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So now, at least maybe this is a but much easier question. What are your guilty pleasures? Like, it's like specific kind of food or TV shows or any other activity, like something that like, oh,
pleasure.
Yeah.
Trashy historical novels.
And by trashy, I mean, what plots are we?
Good historical novels, not like Harlequin romance. That's not it. No, but like the Outlander series, which I've read every one of the books at least 3 times. The beginning ones I've read more, and of course all the TV shows. All the episodes of the show. Love it. Trash historical novels. And of course, when I was doing working on Anna Bolena for the Met, of course we watched The Tudors. You know,
What?
The Tudors.
Oh yes.
I mean, that was trashy.
That is trash. I mean, I did not see all of them, but I've talked to a lot of people. It's like, you guys, you should see it. It's like I always, it's hard for me to watch something historical because I can never relate. That's
Okay.
the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, those are not my ancestors. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
So what about, do you have any specific, what about food? I mean, people always say, like, what do you prefer a certain cuisine, or do you prefer certain things that only available in Austria that you miss every time you travel to the US and vice versa? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, my husband is a fabulous cook, and he does almost all the cooking, I have to say. One of my favorite Austrian dishes, you'll love this, is Käseknochen. Okay. It's basically Austrian macaroni and cheese, more or less, right? With dumplings and melted stinky cheese, and then fried onions on top. It's on a hot day, or on a cold day when it's a nice hot dish. It's great. Things that we bring back, we still bring over from the States. Bagels. You can't get a decent bagel here. I mean, you can now in Vienna, but that's a train ride too.
Macaroni, so it's pronounced
exactly. You spelled it exactly right.
I have no idea how to spell that, so I'm just gonna put random stuff.
That's perfect. That's exactly just like it sounds. Käseknochen.
Käseknochen. I got the last 4 letters, right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, but I couldn't. Was like, is it with a Z? Is it with an S? Is it 2 N's? It's like, anyway. So
part of it's Austrian dialect, so you can never tell.
Now, currently, right now?
Yeah.
What do you binge watch when you do get? Are you in the middle of something?
We just finished all of the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, and we're still watching Schitt's Creek, which is hilarious. Yes. And
I'm typing here as we speak. It's like, binge watch Schitt's Creek. Now, one of the things I wanted to do after the New Year's is have like a moment where I just put random wigs here and then name them. Oh, I'm gonna name them via opera. It's like, oh, this is Carmen. This is Salome. That'd be awesome.
And then you have to talk in Catherine O'Hara's weird accent.
Right. It's like, how do you fold cheese? Oh my God. So talk about Schitt's Creek. That episode when she was the spokesperson for the wine.
No. Oh yes. Okay. I was gonna say no spoilers because
because that's in the beginning of the show.
Okay. Oh yes.
Oh my God, that was one of my favorites. She keeps stumbling and making mistakes. It's like, oh my God, I love it. It's like, I want to be her.
Fantastic. Oh my God. By the way, do you hear my chair squeak? I'm not Rudy Giuliani. It's really my chair squeaking.
Oh my God.
Do you hear that?
I know. So we were talking about, it's like, you know what? Rudy Giuliani. Let's put that there because you mentioned it. Rudy Giuliani. So they say it's like he was farting, right?
Oh, I heard it last night. I watched it. My husband made me watch it. And the Saturday Night Live opening.
So I'm thinking, and then he's tested positive for COVID-19, and I think this is my assumption or my assessment. The reason why he probably didn't notice everything is when you're positive, you lose sense of smell and taste. So basically, that's why he was doing it, because he didn't know. It's like, oh, I felt it.
I mean, he could hear it.
It's fine.
Come on, he heard it.
I mean, yeah. No, do you think he really? I doubt it.
I don't know. The whole world heard it.
Did you see the SNL bit? It's like, oh, by the way, do you have an Alexa at all or something? Amazon Alexa? Like Alexa Echo?
No.
Like Alexa?
No.
Everyone, it's like, Alexa, if you have a friend, Alexa, ask Alexa. Oh, wait. Alexa,
I thought you were talking about
fart sounds.
Siri. I've got Siri. I don't have Alexa.
So if you ask Alexa to make fart sounds, it'll make it Fart sounds.
That was a funny one.
See?
Try asking me for a cheeky fart.
Everything. There's a Christmas fart. There's a giant fart. We were laughing so hard. We are.
No.
It's amazing. So tell everyone. Everyone, ask Alexa.
And someone spent time teaching Alexa to do that.
Oh, so by the way,
Right.
Stephen has a random question. Explain why you can't get a decent bagel.
World War II.
Whoa! Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
I mean, pretty much.
Oh my God, that is a sad reason.
But it's kind of true. But now, within the last few years, the Jewish population in Vienna is starting to grow again, and there's like one place where you can get a decent bagel. So when we get to Vienna, we come back, I'm not kidding you, with like 24 frozen bagels, and then we have them in the freezer and make them last as long as they can.
My God. Well, I didn't know that. Stephen knew about it. So anyway, we have come. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much for waking up so early. It's funny.
Oh my God, it was so freaking early.
I know. Thank you so much for making yourself available.
In my robe.
It's like in your robe. Like, it doesn't matter what you wear. It only matters how you look.
There you go. I mean, I roll out of bed like this.
Yes. So one of these days, I think late in December and also starting next year, I'm going to have some people, multiple guests, and then, we're going to bounce off a lot of, ideas and stuff like that. It'll be cool. And it'll be now, it has to basically people who I've interviewed before. And then we can talk about random stuff because we already know each other. The audience know us. Then we could talk about other stuff, and it'll be fun. I already have like so many different ideas. I want to make sure that everyone comes here, and when they see it, it's like, oh my God, there's so many people. Because the more people they see, the more they tune in as well.
Yeah.
So
could be dangerous with some of those.
I know. So you're there. Before you go, Katharine is actually is able to perform some shows while in Austria or surrounding area, correct?
Yeah.
But right now we're being locked down.
Yeah, we're on lockdown again now. So everything is, there are no performances until middle of January, and all my stuff was canceled anyway. Although I did wind up having a concert with the Mezzo-Soprano Orchestra in October of Berio's folk songs, which was great, which I had done literally 30 years with before with the orchestra. Come back to a piece. The general manager called and said, "Would you want to do this?" And I said, "Let me go to the practice room and see if I still can."
So wait. Oh wait, no. I'm supposed to do this. There you go. Now I'd like to thank you. This is the time where I thank you for coming to my show, my everyday show. Tomorrow I work at 9 a.m., so I'll be sleeping in less than an hour. And what's your plan? So lastly, what do you have planned for today?
I'm going back to bed right after this. Absolutely serious. I might have a little breakfast, another cup of tea, and then I'm going to go to bed and sleep some more. And then I'm teaching in the afternoon, and we are going to put up our Christmas tree tonight.
Awesome. So now I'm going to spotlight you, and then you just want to say goodbye to the audience, or any words of wisdom, or words of good cheer during the Christmas, or anything you can to both perform. I did this to Lexi, to both performers and to patrons of the arts. So take it away.
I guess I would say, everyone's wondering if the industry is going to come back from this. And I was telling someone the other day, this art has lasted for 400 years and it's been through plagues before. So we're going to make it through this too. We have to think outside the box, and it may look different, but we're going to make it through this. And other than that, Frohe Weihnachten und Guten Rutsch, which is Merry Christmas. And we say Happy New Year, a good slide into the new year.
Thank you, Katharine. Always on. Oh, Thank you.
I got to
Again,
get me
thank
one of
you.
those.
I know. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us, and you could always come to the show nightly. Again, let me change that again. So at least it's RoRo After Midnight, Ram, and it's every night except Sunday night at 11 p.m. Los Angeles time, 1 a.m. Chicago time, and 2 a.m. New York City. You have to Google or use your iPhone to see what time it shows in your own area. So on that note, or on this note, I would like to say, I usually do this really well. Wait, last comment. Here, Stephen says, to what you said earlier. So on that note, I'd like to say goodbye.